So yesterday our friend Jet was in whose cabin? Ivory's. He found a bunch of dresses. Then he found in one of the dresses a receipt. And the receipt was from a steakhouse for a big old porterhouse, which tells us what? She was eating meat, which means she's not a vegetarian. Then he was going through her desk because he's looking for proof that she's actually stealing money. And what did he find? A leather money pouch, and inside there was a packet of checks. To the Friends of the Oasis. Thousands and thousands of dollars. All right. So she's like, so what did she tell? Is that illegal?
Yes. Is that why she tried to hypnotize?
Especially if you say this money, if you make a donation, this is going to go towards the camp or the center, and then it actually is not going to the center, it's going to one person. That's very illegal. That's called extortion. You're extorting money out of people.
Jet because she knew he had a lot of money?
Nope, she was just trying to get him to do what she wanted, and he wasn't doing it.
Jet said he would confess to selling the candy bars.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm guessing Jet has his own check.
So what did Jet do when he realized this? Where did he go? He went to his friends. So he ran to Grace and Tyrell and he exclaimed, Ivory is a con artist. And who is narrating right now? Grace. Grace. I'd probably turn bright red, except when you're in the bath, you're already as red as it's possible to be. That's rich, I exclaim. The most respected Pathfinder here, second only to Magnus himself, is a con artist. What does that make you? A saint? Jet turns to Tyrell. Didn't you tell her? Tyrell looks uncomfortable. I didn't tell anybody, not even my mom. Tell me what? I persist. We spied on Ivory during meditation with my dad. Tyrell manages. It was weird. Scary even. You don't know the half of it, Jet puts in. You'll never guess what I found in her cottage. I nearly swallow my tongue. What were you doing in Ivory's cottage? I broke in, he replies, like it's the most normal thing in the world. You what? After what happened with Tyrell's dad, I had to learn more about this so-called Pathfinder, Jet explains. Like, why do all the adults love her so much? Turns out it's because she brainwashes them. That shows how much you know, I explode. Meditation can be really intense when you get to a high level like Ivory. It might seem like brainwashing to someone who doesn't understand. I was there too, Grace, Tyrell interrupts me. Maybe it wasn't brainwashing. I'm not sure what to call it, but it definitely wasn't okay. Maybe this will convince you, Jet tells me. She has a cell phone in there. The lady who confiscates everybody else's technology, and a closet full of expensive dresses. I cut him off. It's not a crime to have nice clothes. And you know what was in her jacket pocket? He goes on. A restaurant receipt for steak. She took someone out for dinner. I shoot back. Just because her guest ate meat doesn't mean she did too. He looks exasperated. You haven't heard the best part yet. She's got a whole stack of checks in her desk, big ones with lots of zeros. They're made out to Friends of the Oasis. And there's one from practically every adult here. Your mother, for one. He turns to Tyrell. And your dad, dated the same day we heard Ivory messing with his head. I roll my eyes at him. Is this supposed to be an example of the great Baronoff brain? People come here because they believe in the Oasis. Is it so weird that they make a donation to the place? Tyrell seems torn. I don't know, Grace. My family's not rich. We saved up the money to come here because my folks are obsessed with their diets. But big donations on top of that, I don't think we can afford it. We're not rich either, I insist. But when I think about it, it's tough for kids to judge that kind of thing. I'll hear my dad grumbling about the cost of Benito's dog food and figure we're practically broke. But then my folks will go out and splurge on a 72-inch TV. Like you would know anything about living on a budget, I add to Jet. Jet spreads his arms wide, splashing hot water in my face. Matt wrote a check and he doesn't have a lot of money. This is different. Friends of the Oasis, it sounds like a charity, but what is it? When you pay your bill here, you pay the Oasis, not any friends. What's up with that? I'm annoyed. Well, according to you, a lot of people have written checks to the friends, so it must be something. Of course it's something. The question is it something sleazy? He turns to Tyrell. Ivory had your dad crying at the thought of losing the Oasis and made him promise to do anything to save it. Next thing you know, there's a check for $7,500 of your family's money sitting on Ivory's desk drawer. Tyrell is tight-lipped. I'm not talking about that, he mumbles. And if you were my friend, you wouldn't talk about it either. I am your friend, Jed exclaims. That's why I have to get to the bottom of this. My family is none of your business, Tyrell shoots back. I wheel on Jet. Can't you see he's upset? I know he's upset. What Ivory did to his dad? I cut him off. Meditation is very personal and highly emotional. A lot of people are moved to tears. You weren't there, he thunders. I don't know if I've ever been so angry. This isn't about Mr. Kerrigan. This is because you always have to prove that you're right and everybody else is stupid. It's not enough that you don't like it here. There has to be some terrible secret. You guys are blind, he accuses us. You can't see what's staring you in the face. He turns his back and starts splashing away. When I try to put a comforting hand on Tyrell's shoulder, he shrugs me off. I was wrong about all the things that are spoiling the Oasis this summer. There's exactly one thing and one thing only, and its name is Jet Baranoff. Jet Baranoff.
She's gonna be a Karen.
Out like Grace now.
She's gonna be like when she's a Karen.
You guys are gonna get cold. Yeah, I don't like it.
Well, but
She doesn't know.
she doesn't know. Like, what she knows of Jet is that he hates the Oasis. So she constantly thinks that he's doing something to try to ruin the Oasis.
She must have watched
Right?
the video and judged a book by its cover.
Right? So in her eyes, this is just another way that Jet's trying to prove that the Oasis is a bad place. Right?
Yeah.
No, don't stop.
7 minutes.